Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online class biology session. Story of microorganisms 1 and 2. So we have completed the lesson and we have also completed assessment 1, in which different questions appeared from this chapter we have discussed. So in the today's class more questions we are going to discuss. Okay children, are you ready? Let us proceed. An epidemic, the term epidemic means an outbreak that only affects a limited amount of people, an outbreak that affects an unusually large amount of people in a population or community, an outbreak that affects an unusual amount of people in a population or community. A spread of disease worldwide. What is the meaning of epidemic? Okay. So here the epidemic means, recently we come across this epidemic and pandemic. Corona, first it was epidemic, then it has become the pandemic. Okay, so epidemic means an outbreak of a disease that affects an unusually large amount of people in a population or community. Okay. Next, what is pandemic? A epidemic of an infectious disease that has spread over entire continents or even worldwide, or an outbreak that has spread over a usually affected population, or an epidemic that only affects one race, or an epidemic or an endemic that only affects one continent. Okay, here the pandemic meaning is a epidemic of an infectious disease that has spread over entire continents or even worldwide. Okay, so now the corona is a pandemic. How are the viruses different from the other microorganisms? Number one, only they cause disease. They are non-living. They are only microorganisms living. Only they reproduce sexually. Here the correct option is number 2. They are non-living. Viruses are non-living. They are different from other microorganisms. They will get life only when they enter the host. Which of the following systems protects the body from disease? Here what are the systems given here? Digestive system, nervous system, immune system, skeletal system. So the answer is immune system. The system which protects the body from disease is immune system. Next, an example of a non-infectious disease is, here the options: influenza, smallpox, diabetes, typhoid. So except diabetes, remaining all are infectious disease. The question is example of non-infectious disease, that is diabetes. An example of an infectious disease is, here the 4 options, 3 are non-infectious given, 1 infectious disease you have to identify. The options are diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular disease, measles. The first 3 options represent the infectious, non-infectious diseases. The last option, measles, is an infectious disease. Measles is an infectious disease caused by virus. Bacteria are unicellular and prokaryotic, unicellular and eukaryotic, made up of no cells, multicellular and prokaryotic. So here the option 1, unicellular and prokaryotic. Bacteria are unicellular and prokaryotic. What is the meaning of prokaryotic, children? Prokaryote means primitive nucleus, or the organisms, the cell without nuclear envelope is called a prokaryote. Okay. Bacteria is unicellular and prokaryotic. Viruses are made up of no cells, prokaryotic and unicellular, multicellular or unicellular, eukaryotic and unicellular. So here actually viruses, they are made up of no cells. Actually they are not considered as cells. Okay, they are like crystals or sand particles when they are outside the host. Okay. Next, round shaped bacterium are called Coccus, Bacillus, Spirillum, Vibrio. Okay, here the Coccus are the round shaped bacterium, Bacillus are rod shaped bacterium, they are like this, and Spirillum means they are spiral in shape, and Vibrio means they are comma shaped bacterium. So round shaped bacterium are Coccus. Cocci means plural, Coccus means singular. So the rod shaped bacterium here, Bacillus. Rod shaped bacterium are called Bacillus. The bacteria that grows in chains, okay, in chain, for example, a Coccus bacteria grow in chain, in group. Okay, so this type of arrangement, chain like arrangement, is called Streptococci. The strep represent here the chains. Okay. Next, which of the following is not a disease caused by bacteria? So here some diseases are mentioned. You have to identify the disease which is not caused by bacteria. The flu, leprosy, whooping cough, food poisoning. Okay, here the flu is the disease caused by virus actually. So here the question is which is not the bacterial disease. Leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae bacteria. Here pertussis or whooping cough is also bacterial, and food poisoning, Clostridium botulicum, it causes the food poisoning. So option 1, flu is the disease which is not caused by bacteria. Viruses contain nucleic acids, and so very simple structure the virus. So here the protein, sugar, cytoplasm and ribosomes are given. So virus contain nucleic acid and protein. Okay. Next, viruses enter the host cell by using receptor proteins, force, black magic, injection. So receptor proteins are the main structures through which virus makes its entry into the host. Which of the following is found in both bacteria and viruses? Ribosomes, a flagellum, genetic material, the immune system. So it is the genetic material which is present in both bacteria and virus. So which statement is true for living things but is not true for viruses? Living things have DNA, living things can maintain homeostasis, living things can undergo mutations, living things have proteins. Okay, accept the second sentence. Except the second sentence, remaining all. Okay, not true for all living things. Okay, so it is the second sentence is true for living things, maintain homeostasis. Okay, but it is not true for viruses. So remaining three are same for viruses and living things. Okay, viruses undergo mutations, viruses have protein, viruses have DNA, but viruses cannot maintain homeostasis. Okay. Next, a researcher has found a new disease. Listen carefully. A researcher has found a new disease. The pathogen is very small and can only reproduce when it is inside a living cell. It has DNA and a protein coat, but no nucleus or ribosomes. What did the researcher find? Whether it is a protist or a virus or a bacterium or an fungus. Okay, so you have to identify which it is a virus. Option B. Next, how do diseases caused by bacteria and diseases caused by viruses react to antibiotics? Means experiment. How the antibiotics show its action on a bacterial as well as a viral disease. So here the options: neither responded to antibiotics, the disease, or only viral diseases respond to antibiotics, or both respond to antibiotics, or only bacterial diseases respond to antibiotics and antibiotics does not show work on viruses. Okay, so here the option 4 is correct. Antibiotics work on bacteria, so they doesn't work on viruses. Next, some fungi secrete substances that are toxic to bacteria that compete with them for food. Scientists have used their knowledge of this ability of fungi in order to produce which of the following substances? Yogurt, fertilizers, plastic, or antibiotic. Okay, so what is that substance? Okay, here some fungi secrete the substance that is toxic to bacteria, means antibiotic. So example, penicillin you can consider. Okay, here the answer is antibiotics. Next, what is used to prevent viral infection? Antibiotics, antiparallel, vaccines, an injection of a weakened virus, or vectors. So here the prevention only, viral diseases. Most of the viral diseases there is a prevention. Prevention is better than cure. So that is vaccination. For example, polio vaccine. Okay, MRM vaccine, mumps, measles, rubella, MMR vaccine. Okay, so like that, vaccination can prevent disease. A triple antigen is also a vaccine. Next question. So here the diagram below shows a cell in the human body engulfing a bacterial cell. The cell labeled X is most likely a, what is the cell labeled X here? So, this is the cell, it is engulfing or it is eating the bacteria like this. This is called phagocytosis. Phagocytosis. So, what is that cell? Here the 4 options are given: red blood cell, white blood cell, liver cell, nerve cell. So, here the answer is white blood cell. Answer is WBC, white blood cell. Okay. Next, which of the following is the best method to slow the spread of infections or infectious diseases through direct or indirect contact? Washing your hands, wearing masks, using mosquito nets, disinfecting commonly used surfaces. The correct method of the best method to slow down the spread of infections is washing hands, sanitizing hands. It is the best method. Which disease is not caused by bacteria? Strep throat, pneumonia, food poisoning, influenza. So, these are all throat infection, pneumonia and food poisoning. These are all caused by bacteria. So, here the influenza virus, it is a viral disease. Edward Jenner succeeded in creating a vaccine against smallpox by injecting patients with a material of which disease? Smallpox, cowpox, cattle virus, measles virus. So, it is the cowpox virus. What he has done is, he has collected the cowpox virus and he neutralized or he heat killed that virus and injected to the patient, so that he discovered the vaccine for smallpox. Okay. The cowpox, he injected it to the experiment he has conducted, which was successful. Heat killing pathogen will produce the antibodies against the disease, develop the resistance or immunity, so that we are calling it as a vaccine. A vaccine contains a heat killed or inactive pathogen. A vaccine is specific, okay, it targets on a specific disease. Next, which of the following produced by B cells and designed to mark antigens to be destroyed? Which of the following produced by B cells? B cells means bone marrow cells. Okay, it's a type of WBC, and designed to mark antigens to be destroyed. So, what are they? Antigens, reactive immunity, or antibodies, antibiotics. So, it is antibodies, the proteins which are produced against the antigens, antibodies. Okay. B cells play a very important role in producing the antibodies and playing a vital role in the immunity. What does HIV kills to weaken the immune system? HIV means human immunodeficiency virus. So, this virus mainly attacks which cells? Killer T cells, helper T cells, memory B cells, antibodies. So, they attack on T helper cells and destroy the immune system. Okay. Next, when pollen enters some people's bodies, their immune systems overreact, causing their eyes and the membranes in their noses to swell, and this reaction of the immune system is best described as an infection, a germ, an immunity, an allergy. It is an allergy. Next, when a virus or disease successfully spreads around the world, the people call it as high level infection, eukaryote, epidemic, pandemic. Okay, it is a pandemic. Corona, pandemic. Which of the following requires a host cell to reproduce? Protozoan, bacteria, virus, fungus. It is the virus which requires a host cell. Remaining all can reproduce on their own. Next, why are viruses considered to be non-living organisms? Important question. They do not have genetic information. They are not able to move on their own. They do not interact with their environment. They are not able to reproduce without a host cell. So, it is the last statement which correctly explains why they are non-living. Okay. They are not able to reproduce without a host cell. Diseases that can be transmitted between people are infectious diseases, inherited diseases, environmental diseases, congenital diseases. Diseases which are transferred from one person to, from infected person to healthy person. They are called infectious diseases or communicable diseases. Okay. A pathogen that is a microscopic core of genetic material surrounded by a protein coating. This type of pathogen requires a host cell to replicate. Virus, protozoa, bacteria, fungi. It is the virus. Next, viruses are prokaryotic, eukaryotic, non-living, endospores. Viruses are non-living. They are non-living. This set includes bacterial disease, malaria, poliomyelitis, mumps, cholera, typhoid, plague, leprosy, diphtheria, measles, tuberculosis, tetanus. Okay. All the options except the third option, remaining options include both viral and bacterial diseases. So, here the question is, which set include only bacterial diseases? So, here set 3, plague, leprosy and diphtheria, these are bacterial diseases. In Ayurveda, the disease that is called as Vishuchika is chickenpox, smallpox, cholera, diphtheria. Cholera is called Vishuchika. Okay, it is the term which represents the, in Ayurveda, cholera is also called Vishuchika. This is a symptom of diphtheria, bleeding gum, hydrophobia, suffocation, excessive watering. Okay, diphtheria is related to the respiration, infection to the lungs. So, suffocation is the main symptom of diphtheria. Vidal test is used for susceptibility of typhoid, cholera, malaria. Again cholera given. Vidal test is related to typhoid disease. Typhoid fever is confirmed by doing Vidal test. Pathogen laboratory, they will do that test. Next, 38. All infections do not cause fever and all fevers are not due to infections. Which of the following is an example of non-infections cause of fever? Non-infections cause of fever: typhoid, chickenpox, rheumatic disease, malaria. So, it is the rheumatic disease, unbearable pain, which may lead to fever. Okay. Which of the following disease is caused by DNA viruses? Poliomyelitis, yellow fever, measles, smallpox. Out of which 3 are RNA virus, 1 is DNA virus. What is that? It is a smallpox which is caused by DNA virus. The use of organisms, especially microorganisms, in the manufacture of industrial processes is called biotechnology, bioengineering, chemical process, genetic engineering. It is the biotechnology, modern technology, which is used in the processing, the industrial purposes. This technology is used. The deadly disease which is caused by a parasitic microorganism called Plasmodium is. Plasmodium is a protozoan parasite which causes disease. What is the disease? Malaria, dengue, polio, rubella. Okay, remaining 3, except malaria, remaining 3 are the viral diseases. The protozoan disease is malaria, amoebic dysentery, okay, which we are very familiar. Penicillium is used to treat infections which are viral, bacterial, fungal, yeast. So, here the question, Penicillium, it is a fungus actually. It is used to treat the infections which are viral, bacterial, fungal, yeast. So, to treat bacterial infections, penicillin is the medicine which is used. Okay. Next, permanent damage to skin, nerves, limbs and eyes, if they are left untreated, occurs in which disease? Okay, which attack the nerves, which make the organs senseless. Leprosy, typhoid, cholera, rubella. It is the leprosy which cause above symptoms. Damaged skin, nerves, limbs and eyes if it is neglected. An infection which is characterized by ring shaped itchy and scaly patches on skin is called, itchy means irritating, scratching. Okay. Ringworm, leprosy, mildew, rust. So, this mildew and rust, they are the diseases of plants. Okay. And here ringworm, is the disease which cause itchy and scaly patches on the skin. The fungal infections in plants include rust, mildew, okay, and blight, okay, wheat rust, okay, downy mildew, powdery mildew in grapevines, blight in rice. Okay, these are all of them. Next, mushrooms, yeast, molds and toadstools are examples of, they are nothing but what are they? Bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae. It is nothing but fungi they are. Next, baker's yeast produce gas which helps in rising of duff. It is which gas? Oxygen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. So, it is the carbon dioxide which raises the duff. Of all microorganisms, the most adaptable and versatile are viruses, bacteria, algae, fungi. Of all microorganisms, the most adaptable and versatile, which can survive easily, multi-talented, okay, they are the bacteria. because of the presence of the cell wall, this bacteria can survive in any kind of environment. Next, Spirogyra is a type of bacteria, virus, algae, fungi. Spirogyra is a spiral algae. A lichen is a composite organism consists of algae and bacteria, bacteria and virus, virus and fungi, algae and fungi. So, a lichen is the combination of algal thallus and fungal thallus, algae and fungi. Symbiotic association. Who discovered the process of fermentation? Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, Jonas Salk, William Harvey. It is Louis Pasteur who discovered the fermentation reaction and saved many industries. Okay. What is the shape of amoeba? What is the shape of amoeba? You can draw shape of amoeba in any manner. Okay. So, no definite shape for amoeba. Next, Rhizobium bacteria are present in the dash of leguminous plants. Means in which part? Roots, leaves, fruits, flowers. Very simple. Roots, root nodules of leguminous plants. This Rhizobium bacteria is present. What is its main function? It helps in the nitrogen fixation. It provides the nitrogen for the plant. Streptococcus pneumoniae was isolated by, who isolated the Streptococcus pneumonia? The bacterium which cause pneumonia disease. Okay, here the four scientists are given: Robert Koch, Edward Jenner, Anton van Leeuwenhoek and Louis Pasteur. So, it is the Louis Pasteur. It is the Louis Pasteur who isolated the Streptococcus pneumonia. Mycobacterium tuberculosis was first discovered by Robert Koch, Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, none of these. So, Robert Koch, who discovered the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, TB bacterium. In order to take precautionary steps to control dengue fever or disease, we must take measures to stop the breeding of which type of vector? Aedes mosquito, fleas, fire ants, Anopheles mosquito. It is the Aedes mosquito. Next, partial sterilization of a product such as milk at a high temperature is known as pasteurization, filtration, pickling, refrigeration. So, it is the pasteurization which was introduced by Louis Pasteur. Okay, it is the technique to preserve the milk and which can kill the harmful bacteria only. Okay. Which of the following diseases can be cured using antibiotics? AIDS, dengue, typhoid, malaria. So, it is a viral disease, AIDS caused by HIV, dengue, it is also a viral disease, typhoid a bacterial disease, malaria caused by protozoan parasite Plasmodium. So, here antibiotic can be used for typhoid. The dash are the agents that act as carriers of a pathogen and spread disease. They are vectors. Okay. Parasites, microbes, they are disease causing germs. Okay. Vectors are the hosts which transmit the disease. They are the vehicles of transferring diseases. Next, which one of the following is not a method of food preservation? Salting, drying, boiling, pickling. So, which is not, except the third option, remaining are food preservation methods: salting, drying and pickling. Boiling is not a food preservation method. Last question, which one of the following is not produced by process of fermentation? Cheese, milk, yogurt, wine. So, milk is not the product of fermentation, remaining all the products of fermentation. So, here these type of questions, so you have to read questions carefully. Here if you neglect this word not, then you will be in a confusion. Cheese is a fermented product, yogurt is a fermented product, wine is a fermented product. Which one of the following is not? So, milk. Okay, children, these are some more questions from this story of microorganisms. So, many more questions you can expect in a different form. So, you have to read the lesson carefully. Every point is very important. Understanding is very, very important. Okay, children. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.